how the f did this happen? When it really got to me was when my wife had a big party at my house and I was the only one that wasn't invited. She couldn't have a party without everybody leaving by 7:30 with me swinging through naked or something, you know. Coming in with a dead cat hanging off my shoulders.
He'd been on a roll for 2 months and he was making all kind of concoctions and mixing this with that and drinking. And you could just feel something was going to explode. And his eyes, if you ever look at anybody that's really stoned, their eyes are kind of vacant, the lights are on but no one's in. And he was talking to me and he said, we've made up our mind that you have to die.
All I remember was taking a drink the next morning. It was bits and pieces of it are there, but I thought I was dreaming, you know.
Him and his friend, whoever his imaginary friend was, jumped on me.
But the next minute I woke up in a jail cell in Amersham police station and I was charged with attempting to murder my wife. Prison is not a very pleasant place to stay, you know, full of criminals.
He got taken away because I pressed the panic button for the alarm.
I don't know, something just gave in and I thought, I never want to feel like this ever again. I never want to wake up or come around feeling this dread, this impending doom. And so I got an addiction therapist and they just put me unconscious for 3 weeks. Good old cup of English tea. I mean, I'm not on the Alcoholics Anonymous program. The reason being is, I looked at it like this, that if I had my left leg amputated at the knee, I'd have to accept the fact that I got one leg. So why do I want to sit in a room full of one-legged men talking about how I lost my leg for the rest of my life? I'm going to take a crap in a minute. You want to come in with me?
Ozzy's latest addiction is exercise.
The worst thing that anybody can say to me is like, you're gaining weight. It really spoils my day, you know. But I don't feel comfortable in gyms, you know, because you get these like he-men there. You feel like a fart standing next to them, you know.
He'll work out for 2-3 hours at a time, you know, non-stop, won't take a break.
It's good fun, though. They look like I'm having good fun.
He drives himself crazy because if he doesn't do it each day, then he gets really annoyed with himself.
Get fit and die quicker.
He goes through phases with foods and drink, too.
He goes through these stages, like being a vegan, to eating fish and rice, to eating chicken and rice, and it's lemon cake and coconut now.
You've got to try something. It's the best cake you've ever had. It's wonderful.
It'll be like everything. He'll drink 20, 30 Diet Pepsis. Then I can't touch a Diet Pepsi. I drink Perrier.
I'm kind of, excuse me, I just drink my tea.
Before it was coffee, he was mad on coffee and everything had to be just black coffee. Now it's English tea.
I must have my English tea. Now over here, they can't make a cup of tea to save their lives. They put the tea bag on the side and put a cup of water by the side.
And then when he binges, he'll eat chocolate all day long.
He goes downstairs about 3 in the morning, stomping about eating chocolate. And then he shouts a lot. He just likes smoking for some reason. He can't really help it. And it's really like his body. I mean, sometimes when Mum goes away with the girls and we're at home by ourselves, and I'm in Dad's bed with him, I wake up and he's like smoking a cigar. So he tells me like to turn around and put my head under the covers.
They hate the smoking. None of us smoke. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
I tell him what these facts I find out when I read the books. Like, do you know if you smoke 20 cigarettes a day for a year, you drink a cup of tar, and then he like stopped smoking for a week. But every day he gained a pound because he kept eating like chocolate and everything. So he said, I can't take this anymore. And so he smoked a cigarette, and I said to him, Dad, what's the point? Because what do you prefer, like dying of lung cancer in the next 10, 15 years, or like putting on weight. And he said lung cancer.
I have to sit in the outside and smoke. $3 million house, and I'm sitting in the tennis court smoking a cigar at night.
When he went for a checkup and an x-ray of his lungs, he didn't really have so much tar in his lungs. And his heart, he's got a heart of a 25-year-old, and his lungs are really good. So I guess he's doing quite well.
The Osbournes' home in England is much more to Ozzy's taste.
We've been here about 4.5 years in Buckinghamshire. I think it's about 180, 170 acres. When we bought it, it was in a terrible state. It was a complete and utter shell. And he never saw it. He'd heard that I bought the house, came back from America, came down the drive and went, "This is it, you're insane. This is the last straw." And for probably 7 months, it was a nightmare with him.
The reason why I still live in England is because when I go back to England, it brings me back down to earth. Because the thing about America is everything's have a nice day and you're welcome. But when you're first in town, you think, oh, it's ever so nice. You go and buy a kitty litter bowl and they go, enjoy.
People think, oh, you know, mad rocker, he's got to have jukeboxes and pinball machines. Ozzy likes things to be traditional, and he chooses most of the paintings. He loves naked ladies, and you'll see that most of the paintings in this house are of naked women. We have the urinals because I keep screaming at Ozzy because he pees on the seat all the time, and having 3 women in the house, we're always screaming at him, so we had the urinals put in for him. Come on.
The family has 5 dogs, but there's no doubting who Ozzy's favorite is. Baldric, the bulldog.
That's Ozzy's dearest thing in the world. He loves him more than us. He's had 2 facelifts because it gets very hot in the folds and it leads to them scratching their face because it's hot and sweaty, and it leads to infection. He's had each side of his face done, and he now wants to have some lip implants.
Baldric hates being separated from Ozzy.
He kind of goes through these phases where he won't talk to anyone, and he really does pine for him terribly. Because literally when they're together, they do everything together when Ozzy's here. When Ozzy rides his motorbikes, Baldric's at the side and goes riding with him. They sleep together, everything. Look at him, how handsome he is. Hi, what's going on? Yes? Is it? Is it tonight or tomorrow?
As well as running their 2 family homes, Sharon works as Ozzy's manager.
Did he call in at all? Okay. It can totally run away with you, and then before you know where you are, your kids are grown up, they've gone, and that's when you try and say you've got to balance it. And we balance it in a way that we don't do much in a social life because we work so hard during the day that when we finish, we stay home. Did you bring up the holy water? Did you bring up the crucifixes?
Sharon loves shopping, and I said, well, do you get a buzz out of it? Do you get kind of off on it? She goes, well, that's my only release from the business, you know. She goes and loses herself in a shopping mall. She comes on with all kinds of... Sharon bought me this watch. Why can't I make a watch with numbers on this and this Roman crap? It's now 1 minute past X. There's so many more better singers than me, and there's so many more better artists than me. I am so grateful for having such a family, such an existence, such a following. But I've always said to Sharon, when and if it starts to dwindle, then I'll hang my microphone up, you know, but it keeps getting better and better, you know. I don't know what the secret is. I'm just extremely grateful to the man upstairs and for being alive, you know. Happy knees.